Hello, welcome to tonight's special on William Bradford. Tonight we're going to be explaining a few of his excerpts and also recreating them. It has been approximately 370 years since his writing of the Plymouth Plantation. Enjoy. In Chapter 9 of William Bradford's Of the Plymouth Plantation, he speaks of an energetic and healthy man who would ridicule poor people. Bradford later writes about this man's change of luck. But it pleased God before they came half seas over to smite this young man with a grievous disease, of which he died in a desperate manner. And so was himself the first that was thrown overboard. Thus his curses light on his own head, and it was an astonishment to all his fellows, for they noted it to be the just hand of God upon him. Bradford discusses another condition of the ship as they had endured some difficulties in strong crosswinds. They used a great iron screw to hold together the main beam, and continued on with the grace of God. He also reports of one man, John Howland, falling over but catching a piece of the boat so that he could crawl back on. But it pleased God that he caught hold of the topsail halyards which hung overboard and ran out at length, yet he held his hold till he was hauled up by the same rope to the brim of the water. In Chapter 10, William Bradford mentions the colonists following Indians and finding water, corn, graves, parts of a house, Indian baskets full of corn, pottery, beans, and seeds to plant. The colonists, instead of giving credit to the Indians, they believe that God has put these things in their path for them to use. In Chapter 11, William Bradford mentions the harsh realities of the winter. In 2 or 3 months' time half of their company died, especially in January and February, being the depth of winter, and wanting houses and other comforts, being infected with the scurvy and other diseases, which this long voyage and their inaccommodate condition had brought upon them, so as there died sometimes 2 or 3 of a day in the foresaid time, that of 100 and odd persons, scarce 50 remained. William Bradford also mentions 2 men that dedicated their time to taking care of sick people, and they both remained healthy. These 2 men were Mr. William Brewster, their Reverend Elder, and Miles Standish, their captain and military commander. In Chapter 11, Bradford also mentions Indian relations. He mentions an Indian by the name of Samoset. Samoset eventually introduces the colonists to Squanto, with whom after friendly entertainment and some gifts given him, they made a peace with him, in these terms: 1. That neither he nor any of his should injure or do any hurt to any of their people. 2. That if any of his did hurt any of theirs, he should send the offender, that they might punish him. 3. That if anything were taken away from him any of theirs, he should cause it to be restored, and they should do the like to his. 4. If any did unjustly war against him, they would aid him. If any did war against them, he should aid them. 5. He should send his neighbors Confederates. Now look at the bushes. And look shocked. I said shocked, not shot. I said surprised. Look like...
Whatever.
Like, oh well. Put your hand out like, oh well.